What type of broccoli and tomatoes do you grow? And if you grow more than one type each, how do you deal with cross-pollinations when you're saving seeds from them?
Well, I don't. When I want to save seeds, I make sure I do all the same, because otherwise it will be cross-pollinated. And I use heirloom varieties, and where I live I have to go with something very early with tomatoes, like 50, 60-day stuff, because we don't have a long season. So I'm limited, and the small tomatoes, like the cherry type, do better here because they ripen faster. So I'm limited to that. So that's what I use. I use heirloom, cherry, small type tomatoes. And my broccoli, I use it's an Italian heirloom. I can't think of the name right now, but it's just a really wonderful one, and I just love it because it's really good. But it's an Italian heirloom.
Okay, so you said that you plant different varieties, but when you plant to harvest the seeds, you plant just the one.
Yeah. Otherwise, you'll get cross-pollen. It won't be the same.
How often do you plant just one crop for seed?
Depending on the variety, like, some seeds will last decades, some will last a year. Onions only last a year. Other things, like corn and stuff, will last for decades. And so depending on who it is, the plant, depends on how often I plant seeds. Because my kale, I'll get like a whole, black bag full of stuff that lasts me like, several years. So I only do kale every 3 years because I have such an abundance. And it'll last about 3 years. And so just depending on the seed and how long it lasts depends on how often I raise seed.
Do you directly seed your tomatoes and peppers, or do you start them inside first?
Where I live, you have to start them inside just because it's too short of a growing season. And so those are the only two things I start inside. Everything else I direct seed, but tomatoes and peppers I start inside.
And can you tell me your process for how do you start them?
Well,
what do you do?
I have a friend, a 90-year-old lady who heats her house with wood, who splits wood at 90 years of age. She's awesome. And in February, she takes her living room where the wood stove is, and she lays out on the floor all these seed trays where she starts tomatoes and peppers for me. And she's got lights in there at night. I mean, she's just awesome. And we've got this wood-heated built room. I'm telling you, man. And the tomatoes she gives me, like I plant them like this tall. They're already got fruit on. It's just awesome because they're so well cared for. She's such a nurturer. That's just a wonderful advantage I have. And I mean, the wood heat is incredible for warming stuff. It's the best heat there is. And she heats that house with wood. I'm telling you, it's amazing how that stuff grows inside.
Do you give her the seeds that you want her to?
She doesn't. I prune her trees for her, and we're friends, and she just loves to do this for me. She just does it. She's just really something that she just takes a point and do every year for me.
Okay. What are the 3 types of kale you grow?
I grow 2 types. It's lacinato kale, or commonly called dinosaur kale, or Russian kale. Those are the two I grow. Okay. And then for winter, I also grow cilantro. Those are the 3 things I grow for winter greens: is cilantro, Russian kale, lacinato kale.
Let's see. What type of raspberries are you, and I guess now growing?
I got those from a lady I was doing some pruning for. That she bought it from someplace, that they were the best raspberries I ever saw, and I never got the name. I have no idea what they are, but man, they're huge. And if you're in the area, you come by this time of year, I'll give you starts, because I'm telling you, it's just the biggest, nicest raspberry I've ever seen.
The starts that you gave me last year, I planted them like that day and really never touched them again, and they're growing pretty well.
You should have berries this year.
I'm hoping, because I went by looking at yours when I was walking up your driveway, and it looks the exact same way that mine do right now.
They should be blooming, and have bees on them. You'll have great raspberries.
I have a lot of bees on them right now.
That's such a good sign. That's telling you that this thing's blooming, and you got major pollination, so you're going to have berries. It's a given.
Yeah, I was really surprised I put that one on my videos.
There's no flowers happening. See, the bees are there indicating that we've got life, we've got flowers. This is going to bloom, and we're going to have fruit. So it's such a good indicator.
Good. Let's see. Do you grow anything for medicinal purposes?
My wife does. She has all these herbs out here. She grows for medicinal purposes because she's a midwife and she uses nothing but herbs in her practice, doesn't use drugs. And she grows a lot of things for medicinal purposes. I had a guy coming by here yesterday that like the fennel over there is major for stomach indigestion. If you have acid indigestion, fennel will work a lot better than Tums or anything else to settle your stomach. So there's just wonderful things in nature that are just incredibly good. It's just good to educate yourself, and when you find things that work for you, plant them, grow them, because herbs are really easy to grow, and they're perennial. They're forever. Keep coming back.
Besides the fennel, are there any other kinds of medicinal plants that you would say work well, say here, or that your wife grows? Do you know any of the names?
Well, there's the L campana, what it's used for, but there's herbs all over the place. I don't even know some of their names, but I know that she knows their use and purpose, but I don't, I'm sorry.
It's fine. I know you said that it takes too much time and energy to grow wheat, but I do have a lot of people who want to try it. Are there heirloom wheat seeds available, and where would they get them?
Today there is no wheat unless you go to some foreign country that hasn't been messed with. All the wheat in the United States has been totally corrupted. And if you look at our anthem, the word says, amber waves of grain. Wheat used to grow 4 feet tall and just used to blow in the wind gorgeously. Now it's 1 foot. It's been totally altered and changed. It's genetically modified and it's totally corrupt. It's not safe to eat. One slice of bread is equal to a cup of sugar. It's just so scary. And that's why everybody's diabetic today. Bread, it's just, and bagels and muffins and stuff is killing people because it's not wheat. It's some genetically modified organism and it's not good for you. So unless you can find some foreign countries, maybe in Europe, who has something real, don't buy anything in the United States because it's not safe.
These people live in a zone 3, which has only about 100 frost-free days. Winters can get down to negative 40 degrees. I think they're up in Canada, I think. What do you recommend that they try growing?
I'd grow kale, cilantro, greens. Don't mess with anything else. You're not going to grow cucumbers and that kind of stuff. So just grow greens. And if you read any book, dark green leafy vegetables are powerful food. Calcium, protein, everything's in them. So grow a lot of greens. And if you can dry it, bring them in and dry it, and then all you have to do is rehydrate it. You'll have it all winter. So kales will produce a ton of food, and so you can bring that stuff in and dry it, and then rehydrate it during the winter. And you'll have the same food value.
What about root vegetables? Would any of those work?
Not at 40 below.
No.
40 below is going to pretty. You can
That's pretty
try.
cold.
I mean, you can certainly try. Put a good cover over it and see if it'll survive. But I think 40 below would take it out.
I remember you saying that you like figs.
Yeah, I have them right here. See the figs that are already on them?
Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay. Well, I'm getting one of those soon too then.
Yeah, and this is the only one that gets ripe here. It's called Desert King. For the Northwest, it's the only one that ripens because it's so cool here. But that one does get ripe.
Yeah.